Hello all, in this video we will say multi-tape Turing machines. So as the name suggests, multi-tape Turing machines are Turing machines with multiple tapes. That is, they can have more than one tape, and each of the tape contain their own tape heads, and they can move independently, okay, independent of each other. So for example, one tape will contain the input, one tape will be the input tape, one tape will be the output tape, and rest of the tape will be the workspace for us to do different computations and keep the intermediate result. So basically speaking, each of the Turing machine will contain tape heads, and the tape heads can read and write. Usually in the input tape we can just read the input, and in the output tape we can simply write, okay, or we can write and read the output as well, okay. So in the input tape we can just read the input from that, okay. The remaining tapes will be the working tapes, and the one tape could be the output tape. So that is the basic concept of multi-tape Turing machine. Again, having multiple tapes doesn't add to the computational power of a Turing machine, because any multi-tape Turing machine can be converted to a single-tape Turing machine. And essentially, multi-tape Turing machines and single-tape Turing machines have exactly same computational power. Okay. So we will see an example to understand how does this multi-tape Turing machine work. So we will design again one more thing, the transition function. See, the transition function here will take as arguments a state in the Turing machine. Now the tape symbols, it will, if there are k tape symbols will be considered at the moment. That is the symbols pointed to by the read write head at each and every tape. So if there are k tapes, there could be k tape symbols which are considered at the moment, isn't it? So k tape symbols. Now the output will be a new state. Then there could be k minus 1 tape symbols will be edited, because from the input tape we can only read or write. We can't write anything to the input tape, isn't it? So the remaining k minus 1 tape symbols can be edited. Now we have left, right or stationary movement for the k minus 1, for the k tapes. We can move to left, right or even stop or stay stationary for the remaining for the k tapes. So this is how the transition function is defined. So to understand the working of multi-tape Turing machines, we will see an example. That is, we will see how a multi-tape Turing machine checks for palindromes. Okay, for example, we will take the string A, B, A. Okay, so we will see how a multi-tape Turing machine processes palindromes, and we are assuming that A, B, A, the input is given in one tape. See, initially all the other tapes will be containing the blank symbol except for the input tape. All the other tape symbols will be blank. Yeah. So the input is ABA. This is taken just for the sake of convenience. Yeah. Now the input is in tape 1. The tape 2 is a working tape, and we are assuming that tape 3 is our output tape. Okay. This is our input tape. This is our working tape. And this is our output tape. Okay. So output will be here in this tape at the end. Input will be in this tape. Okay. So again, assuming that we are at some state Q0, which is our start state. So we are starting with the state Q0 or QS. You can give it as QS also. So I am writing Q0, the start state. Now, so the input tape contains the string ABA, which we need to check for palindromes. All the other tapes are containing blank symbol in all the cells. Okay. So Q0. So now the configuration is like the input tape contain the first tape contain the symbol A, second tape contain the symbol B, and the third tape contain the symbol B. See, we are checking for palindromes over the alphabet A, B. Okay, we are checking for palindromes over the alphabet A, B. That is, we don't consider any other letter. So the basic idea of palindromes should be very clear to you know that, isn't it? That is, the first character is A, the last character should also be A. If the first character is B, the last character should also be B, isn't it? So if it is starting with A, the last character should also be an A. If it is starting with B, the last character should also be a B. So we can't take the same path. If this first character is a B, you should take a different path, isn't it? Because if the first character is A, the last character should also be an A. If first character is B, the last character should also be a B. And if the second character is an A, the second last character should also be an A. If the second character is B, the second last character should also be a B. So we can't go in the same direction. We have to take two paths. One path if it is A, one path if it is B. Now this ABB comes like this. This is the tape 1 symbol. This is the symbol in tape 2. Current symbol in tape 2. So these are the current symbols. So in tape 1 it is A, in tape 2 it is blank, and in tape 3 it is blank. BB means in tape 1 it is B, tape small b, in tape 2 it is capital B, and in tape 3 it is capital B. That is how we write this. Okay. Tape 1 symbol, tape 2 symbol, tape 3 symbol. Yeah. If it is like this, what we do is, we are keeping the A unchanged. In the second tape, we are rewriting this B by some symbol, say P, so that we can know that this has been, the first character has been processed, because the input tape is a read-only tape. We don't make any changes to the input tape. So to indicate that the first character has been processed, we are making a change in the working tape. We are converting this B into a P. Okay. So third tape is output. We will write only the output in that, so it is unchanged. So here also, and we are moving to right. Here also B is unchanged because that is a read-only tape. Now this blank is unchanged. The blank is converted to a P to indicate that the first character has been processed. The third tape symbol is unchanged because that is an output tape. Now we can move to right. Okay. So here I am taking the state Q1, new state Q1. Here I am taking the new state Q2. Yeah. Okay. See, now we just need to get the end of the tape, isn't it? We don't care what are the symbols that we are seeing in between. We just need the last symbol. That is, whether it is A or B in the first tape, we don't care. In the next tape, that should be a B, blank, isn't it? In the third tape also, that should be a B. If it is like this is the first tape symbol, we are leaving it unchanged. So A or B, B, B. We are leaving the next symbols unchanged, because our only target at the moment is to reach the right extreme of the input symbol. Right extreme of the input symbol is the character which is lying left to the blank. So what we will do is, we will go till the blank and will take one step backwards to ensure that we have reached the last character. Okay. So if it is like this, we will just keep on staying here. Same here. That is, if it is A or B, whatever it is, and blank in the first tape, we will leave it as it is and stay here in this state. Now, if we are getting, we will keep on doing this. When we see this P, we will leave the B as it is. When we see this A, we will see that A as it is. So all the tape heads are moving at the moment, because we are giving rightward movement, isn't it? So all the tape heads are moving. Now the tape heads are at this position. Now at this position, and once we reach this position, at one point we will reach this position for all the tape heads. When we reach a blank, 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 that is all three blanks, that means end of the input stream, isn't it? blank and all the three tabs, we will leave it as blank, 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 but we will take a left turn. Okay, same here also. This is another part which is written just what if the first character is B. So blank, blank, blank will be left as blank, 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 but we will take a left with movement. So Q3, so Q4 a new state name, yeah. Now the current character, when we reach the blank, we just went back to the previous character, isn't it? So we are at this point now. Okay, we are at this point now. See here, that is an A, isn't it? So if it is an A, because in this part the first character was an A. Now we are at the last character. The last character should be an A. That is A in first tape, then B in second tape, and B in third tape. In that case, if that is the case, what we will do is we will just move to the left. That is, we will keep them as it is. ABB. We can change the character in the second tape to a P here also, because this means that this character, this A has also been processed. So this A will be converted to a P, and this along this A also we will have a P, because these two characters have been completely processed, isn't it? So here also we are expecting B here and blanks in the other two tapes. In this case, we can leave this B as it is. In the second tape, we can write a P to indicate that this B has been processed. In the third tape, it is simply blank. Okay, we will move on to Q5, new state. See, at this point, if we are getting a B instead of this A, that is, this was an A and we reached the end, we are expecting an A. If we are finding a B here, that means your string is rejected, isn't it? String is not a palindrome. That is, at this point, if you are getting a B and blank in the other two tapes, that means your string is rejected. You can write, you can leave the B as it is. You can convert this B into P, meaning that to indicate that B has been processed, and you can write 0 in the last tape to indicate that this is not a palindrome. Now you can move on to some reject state, QR. Okay. Okay. Now here also at this point we are expecting a B, because the first character was a B. If we are getting an A, that means A and blank blank in the next two cells, next two tapes and tapes. That means your string should be rejected. You can leave this A as it is. You can convert this B into a P to indicate that this symbol has been processed, and you can write 0 in the last tape to indicate that your string has been rejected. Okay. Because when it is starting with A, that should end with an A, not B. When it is starting with B, that should end with a B, not with an A. Okay, so that's it. So in this case, initial character was A, next B, next A. So so this first character and last character has been processed. Now we have to keep on moving to the left to get the second character, isn't it? So when you keep on moving to the left, you just have to move till you find a P, because the character which is lying next to P is the character that you need to process next. So at Q5, you just keep on moving to left. That is whether you are seeing A or B, and blank in both tapes, you just leave them as it is. You just leave them as it is and keep on moving to left. So whether it is an A or B and blank in both the tapes, you just keep them as it is and keep on moving to left. Now if you are seeing yeah, AOB in the first step, but it is a P in the second step and a blank in the third step, you should move to right because that is your next unprocessed character, isn't it? So leave them as it is and move to right. So this should go to the state Q0. So we are a little bit congested here. I guess you can understand it. I am drawing the very same Q0 which is the start state. I am just duplicating it. Okay, we are actually going back to this point, looping back to this Q0, but because of the space constraints, I am simply drawing it here. A new Q0, I mean the same Q0 has been replicated just for the sake of convenience. When you draw that, you should redirect the arrow to this point. Okay. Now here also, whether you are seeing AOB, if it is P in the second tape and blank in the third tape, you should leave A or B as it is. Now P should be left as it is, blank should be left as it is, but you should move to right. And you should go to state Q0 so that you can start the entire process once again. Okay. So again you have this B. So this B will be converted to this, I mean along this B, this character will be, we will take this path. As the second character is a B, we will take this path. Now it is a B and that will be, in the second step that will be converted to P. But at this point, when we reach Q2, example, in case of this example, this is a B and you reach the next state moving forward, moving to right hand side, you reach Q2. Now you are again seeing a B in a P in the second step, meaning that there is no unprocessed character. That is whether it is A or B. If you are seeing a B, P in the second step and what blank in the third step, that means that is a middle character of the palindrome. That is, there is nothing to be compared it with. So in that case, that is the end of palindrome checking because you are at the middle string and you don't have to compare it with anything. You can leave it as AOB. Then the tape symbol can be, second tape symbol can be left as B, but the symbol and the third tape can be left as a 1 to indicate an accept state. So Q final, some accepting state. So similarly, if you are reaching Q1 and at this state, if you don't have anything, just like this, Q1 and Q2 are equivalent states, isn't it? If you are seeing AOB and P in the second tape and blank in the third tape, that means you have reached the middle of the palindrome and there is nothing to compare it with. So in that case, you can leave the first tape symbol as it is, second tape symbol as it is, and can write a 1 and the third tape and you can stop. Yeah, the direction is stop. So you will reach the final state. So this is how we do palindrome checking using a multi-tape Turing machine. Okay, hope you understand. Now I'll draw this diagram in the entire screen so that you can easily understand that. Okay, so hope you understood. Thank you.